share. So, the main part is the mission, which he has beautifully shared. So, apart from what Avinash has shared, I'm also a law of attraction expert. So, I do NLP and law of attraction. Both these areas are like very, very close to my heart. I practice that actively as well. Uh, Today's session is also about, so you may have seen the few of those topics that we are going to do. The main foundation, the main area is about thoughts and how thoughts we can use our thoughts to manifest what we want, or to get those goals. So whatever we want to say, whether it's manifestation, whether it's achievement of goals, whether it's results. So for everything, please let me know if you agree with this, that thoughts or mind plays the major role in getting what we want, the results that we want. And before we jump into the details, jump into the concepts, I thought I'll start by sharing a story, and it was impacting her in a different way. She thought she will adjust to it. She tried adjusting. She tried doing a lot of things, but then it was she came to a point like 2.5 3 years later, when she said that it's not going to happen, and I can't take it anymore, because whatever was happening, because of the hectic schedule, the organization culture, the politics that was happening, it was impacting Deepti to a major extent. Impact on her health, physically, emotionally, mentally, all that was changing her a lot. And then one fine day, Deepti decided that enough is enough. I'm going to quit this organization. And she put down her papers. Then she thought, let me start a small business. Deepti tried finding out, what is it that I can do. It was not working out. She was not getting enough ideas on that. And that slowly started demotivating her. And then on top of it, she's a married woman. So all kinds of pressure from her parents, from her in-laws, that please, to start finding a job. Why do you want to start a business now? Just find a job. And she gave into that pressure. And after she gave into that pressure, for almost about 1 year, she was looking out for a job, but then she was not finding a job, because she was carrying all of that baggage from her past, from the right from the organization, the stress, and then post that, trying to set a business, and then not being able to do that, the failure thing. And then now, when she was looking for a job, she was not getting it. Initially, she started getting few calls, but then it was not she was not getting cleared. And then slowly the number of calls reduced, and that impacted her a lot. Her confidence, self-esteem, everything came down a lot. And then Dripti decided that it's time to take care of myself. She spoke to a friend, and she thought that I need to take care of my personal development. I need to take care of my mind. I need to take care of my thoughts. Slowly, she began to focus on her thoughts, started changing thoughts. Simple things like affirmations, simple things like meditation, simple things like focusing on what is it that she's thinking. She wrote a goal for herself. She wrote a dream, a goal for herself. And her statement was, so it was like 3 4 months before Diwali in India. So this was in 2018 that I'm talking about. 3 4 months before Diwali, she wrote a goal for herself that by Diwali, I will have a job, and I will have gifted my parents a washing machine with the first salary of my job. She wrote it down on a sheet of paper, and she put that sheet up on a place on her, just above a place where she used to read that every day, reminding herself of her goal. October was when, I think it was around October, when it was Diwali. She got a job in one of the best MNCs with a very good package. And with her first salary of that job, she bought a washing machine, and she sent to her parents as a gift for Diwali. After she did that, she called up her friends saying that this was my goal. I have gifted that to my friends. Deepti is my best friend, and this is her manifestation story. So, what do you think?
It's really inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing that story, Kiran. It's really inspirational, and I think if Dipti could make it, so could any of us.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And so it's not about you writing a goal or thinking about it and it just turning out like a, you flick a wand and it turns into a reality. It does a lot of things to the mind. There is something called as a reticular activating system, which is like just below our hypothalamus. What it does is when you start focusing on a particular area, particular thing, a thought, or whatever it is, a thought, your reticular activating system gets activated and ensures that whatever you are focusing on, you get more and more of that into your life. So it's like there are a lot of other things. There'll be a lot of negative thoughts, negative feelings. But since you choose to focus on one thought, your reticular activating system ensures that whatever is there out of those hundreds of things in that world, there if there are just 10 things which will help you on achieving that goal, your RA system helps you to focus only of that. And that is actually is called, manifestation. That's how it happens, because then we start focusing on that, and then we start taking actions towards turning those things, our goals into reality. So I thought I'll share this story with you, because it is, Deepti is not even, I haven't even changed the name. She is my college friend, right from when we were doing our PG in HR. She's been a friend of mine. And so I thought it's a beautiful manifestation story. I thought I'll start from there. So that's the first thing that I thought of today's topic, which is thoughts become things. So how what we think about, how can that turn into a reality? uh, I will tell you a statement, and please think over it. The entire world is made of dreamers. The entire world is made of dreamers. So when I say this, look at the phone that you have, different phones that we have, the laptop, the table, the TV, everything is different, the structure, or different brands, different things, and everything is created by a dreamer. So a thought came into someone's mind that, this table should look like this, and then they worked on that, they took that action, and that thing became a reality. So the entire world is, all of us here, we are all dreamers, and we work towards our dream. That's the truth of life. How many of you agree with this statement that I just made?
Well, I do surely. And if anyone would like to participate, please feel free to unmute yourself and participate so that we have a more interactive session.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you
I think I would totally agree.
so much. I think I don't know if the chat, they can use the chat also. If you want to put it in the chat, please feel free to do that, or we can interact as well. Okay. So coming to the next point, which I want to share, is about this. Can everyone see this?
Yes. Can you show it?
Every
Yeah, one minute.
yes,
Yeah.
the thought energy or vibrational frequency. Now, what it means is all our thought, every thought is associated with a certain energy in the brain. If we are discussing something, there is a feeling which is associated to that thought, and there is an energy which is generated because of thought, and we call that as a vibrational frequency also. Now, how do we know that every thought has a vibration, every thought has a frequency? uh, how would you measure your heart waves? How do we know that our heart beats? Can someone tell me what is that machine called? So that heart
ECG.
waves, ECG, with ECG, electrocardiogram. So we know that there is a frequency. It's actually a frequency. And what is that? It's heart waves, the rhythm of heart in per second. That's frequency. Similarly, brain waves can be measured with EEG. EEG is electroencephalogram. So at any point of, see, when you're meditating, for example, or you are very calm, very relaxed, you're watching a funny video also. Say you're watching Friends. I love Friends. Who else loves the Friends series? Yeah, I have like watched it so many times. Anytime I feel in under stress or something, I just put on one episode of Friends and just I just loosen up. So when you're watching something, when you're in a relaxed state of mind, if I plug in, if I put a EEG machine on your head, on your brain, the vibration would be like very pleasant, because the number of thoughts that are there in your mind are very less. It's like smooth cycle. Whereas when you're in a stress, when you're arguing, so many thoughts in your brain, your pattern will be like, like very disturbed. So that's how we know that every thought, every word also for that matter, has a certain energy, and that energy has a vibration, has a vibrational frequency that we say. And what happens in our brain when we think of a thought? Our brain, there are millions of neurons in our brain, right? When we think of a thought, it's coming from a memory. And when we are holding on to a thought, it starts attracting thoughts of similar nature, of similar vibration, of similar frequency. Hence the concept of positive psychology. Like, think positive. How can we think positive? Everyone says think positive, but then how do we think positive? It's by holding on to, different thoughts, holding on to it for a longer period of time, which we will do today. One of the techniques is also around that. So does it make sense, what I shared with you?
Yes, of course it does. So we have always been wondering in terms of reading about law of attraction and how does it relate to the scientific world. I mean, uh, we have seen, most of us must have seen The Secret, the movie,
Mm.
which is purely about law of attraction. But then when it comes to actual examples, and as you rightly shared the example of Dipti, it is known that it is somebody next door. It is somebody who we know that has manifested things. And uh, and if and that's such a nice thing to know, that if somebody who is next to you can do it, of course you can also do the same. So
Yeah,
for the scientific
absolutely.
explanation.
Yeah, yes, that's it. I really love what you said right now, Avinash, that if somebody else has done it, if somebody can do it, then I can do it too. So it's like, there are true stories around it. It also acts as a motivation, and it also acts like as a benchmark. Something is already there, and I can go till there. Or it's like how the records are broken. There is a benchmark of record, and when someone just goes higher than that, then the record is broken and a new benchmark is created. And unless a new benchmark is created, no one else will believe that, oh, okay, can I reach that level? I don't know. But then someone else has reached there. So maybe, yes, it's possible for me also. So that pattern breaking is very important. That's, again, is the thought that we are talking about. Do you know? So I'll share an interesting fact over here. How many of you know that in a day we have close to about 60 to 65,000 thoughts a day runs across our mind? How many of you are aware of that?
I am.
No? Yeah, yeah, you definitely would be. So 60 to 65,000 thoughts in a day. Oh my God. So it's like too many, too many. We can't even imagine that. So there could be so many thoughts. But our brain is such a fantastic, our body, in fact, is such a fantastic, uh, I don't know, I can't think of a word, fantastic thing. So many thoughts run across our mind, but then do you think all the thoughts get manifested or converted? Not all the thoughts get converted or manifested. It's only those thoughts that we choose to focus on, only those thoughts get manifested, or only those thoughts get converted into a reality. Thoughts become things. Those chosen thoughts become a reality. So if you look at it, it's actually a choice that we have. What do we want to choose? Do we want to choose to feel that nothing is working out, or it's so difficult to do this? Or do we want to choose that there could be other ways to do it? Yeah, this is working out for me. Yeah, I'm okay. I am grateful with all the things that are existing. So it's based to is actually a thought. So I'll just take a pause right now, because I want to shift now to sharing another experiment with you around thoughts. How thoughts, how the vibrations, how the energy changes something like water. So this experiment, which I'm going to share with you, was done by Dr. Masaru Emoto. Anyone who has heard about Dr. Masaru Emoto? EMOTO. It's called Emoto's experiment. So after this session also, you can look up on Google, you'll find more about it. So what Dr. Emoto did was, so he's a scientist he used to stay in Japan. Around the 90s, he got intrigued with the idea that, how would water respond if it's given, if it's given different kinds of stimuli. And then what he did, he took distilled water. He did multiple experiments with water. So the first experiment he did was he took distilled water in a beaker and he put that beaker in between the two speakers. And he started experimenting with sound energy. He would play soft, calm music, pleasant music, and then he would observe so he would just leave the beaker there. And after some time, he would take the water from that beaker. He would, crystallized water, and started observing with the help of dark field microscope. Then he used another type of sound, which is like loud sound and unpleasant, or it's like very loud sound, different kinds of sound. And with different kinds of sound and music, he observed the same, from different beakers, different water crystals, and he saw that the shape of the water was different in all these cases. So if there were like 4 to 5 different kinds of music, the shape of the water, the crystals under the dark field microscope, the shape changed under when the water was exposed to different kinds of sound. And he was surprised that oh, so water is responding in this way. Then he thought, can water respond to something, to an intangible thing like a word or a thought? The second type of experiment started. What he did again, he took different beakers of water, and against each of the beaker, he pasted he wrote a word on a sheet of paper, and he just put that against that beaker. And those were different words, words like love, peace, gratitude, positive words. And then there were some beakers wherein he wrote negative words like hatred, war, disgust, or jealousy, and all of that. And he just left it for some time, for a few days and all. And after that, again the same thing. The crystals he started observing from all these beakers, and he observed under dark field microscope. Now just imagine what would have happened. To his surprise, once again, the water beakers which had the positive words, the shape of the water crystals was very beautiful. It turned out to be very beautiful. And the shape of the water crystals in the beakers with those negative words, it was like very, very ugly. And he did this experiment multiple times. He understood, over the years, to find out how water behaves from different sources also. So the conclusion is over here, water outside, it's behaving, it's responding to all these kinds of stimuli. So there is a vibration over there. There is a, thought has an energy, sound has an energy, right? So water is responding to all this stimuli. And just imagine, our body is composed of more than 70% of water. So whatever we do, it's impacting us, it's impacting our body, because internally the structure of water changes with what we think, with what we say, the words we use. So all of that makes a lot of difference to our health, to our status, to our state of mind, to our mental, emotional, physical, all those areas. So how important that is. Interesting to know this experiment, right?
Indeed, it is very interesting.
So I'm going to share a video on this, the same experiment, a short 2-3 minutes video. Do I have access to share?
Yes, you can. Just a moment. Okay. You have?
Yes, I have now. Okay. So I'm going to share a short video on this. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no sound?
There's no audio? Okay.
No.
No, there is sound. Okay. One second. Just let me know if the sound is also okay.
Now it is.
Subway exhibit comes to us from Japan and Mr. Masuro Emoto. Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the four elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a dark field microscope. This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and left them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. But if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Kiran. This is Abhay. I honestly did not follow the video. Maybe I'm a dumb guy, but I did not follow it. I did not understand.
Okay, so it's what I just shared a while back, that with different, Dr. Emoto did that experiment with a lot of different kinds of stimuli. So in the video, what they shared was, so he also did an experiment with the Fujiwara Dam. So Fujiwara is in Japan, so dam. So he took the water from that dam, and it's like the test water before blessing that water. And he took that, and again, the crystallized water, he observed the structure of that water under dark field microscope. It had a different structure. What she also showed in the video, that before blessing, this is the structure of that water. And then they called a couple of monks, and they asked them to bless that water. So blessing that water is like what? Saying some words that, whatever, positive words and all. After blessing that water, they again observed, took that water and again observed the structure of the water. And then the second image, which the lady showed, the image of, where it was very pleasant, the structure of the water was very pleasant, angelic in nature. That was after blessing. So they did multiple such experiments by exposing water to different words, different thoughts, different kinds of music. And wherever the words were like negative words, the water behaved in a different way. Wherever the words were like positive words, the water behaved in a very nice way. The structure of the water molecule changed. At a molecular structure, that structure changed. So that's what they showed in the video. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Honestly, not really. I did not understand what you want to convey out of it. I'm sorry if everybody else had understood. We can take it offline.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to give my inputs in that, what I understand is that water itself, when has an impact in the change of its molecular structure, just by mentioning good words or having blessed. And I can completely relate to this. I mean, we had to wait till some Japanese have to come up with this experiment. But if we go back to our own scriptures, this has been something that we could very closely relate to. The blessings that we receive from our elders, the blessings that we receive when we go into the temple, the water, the holy water that is being poured, or the one that we say tirtha, right? That we have. Um, these things, I very well connect with it, because when you said that this experiment was to see how the molecular structure of water, just through words, just through vibrations, can change. I mean, so this is the moral of the story, that if it can change something which is external, which is in a dam. I mean, this is a dam water, right? Something which is internal to us, imagine the kind of impact it would have through the words that we use, through the vibrations that we create within us. So this is something that I took away from this particular video and from what you said with the experiment that was conducted. Abhay,
Yeah. Yes.
is it a little bit more relatable when we relate it to, if you go back to our own scriptures, we have had this kind of themes running through, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. This is typically the book that you shared with me on WhatsApp some other time.
Exactly. Yes.
And Avinash, probably in the simplest form of my understanding, if we can express something,
Sure.
it was more of what I related to it is something which is non-living can have so much impact externally because of vibrations or the experiments that are conducted, and the structure and the molecular crystals of the water is changing. So does the vibrations or what we hear or what we get to see or what we feel changes something within us as well. So that's what I felt.
That's a good observation. Non-living versus living. So if water is non-living, we are still living beings, and then impact is far more. So thank you for that, both Abhay and Ashutosh. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, shall I move on?
Yes, please, Kiran. Yes, please.
Okay. So, basis all of this, I wanted to share kind of a formula with all of you. So, if we start at words, is this visible? So, if we start with words, words, they lead to our thoughts. So, if you think of a word like, say, so think of it, think of love, for example. When you think of that word, it will trigger a certain kind of an experience or a memory in you, so that, and which is created in your mind when you think of love, and that thought will lead to a certain kind of feeling, certain kind of an emotion. And when you think of the feeling or emotion, so your words, your thoughts, your feelings are your inner world, and as you move on, it will lead you to take a certain action. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anger, your action will be very different. If you're feeling motivated, inspired, love, gratitude, or filled with those thoughts, your action will be very different. And the result which you will get will ultimately be depending on the action that you've taken. So if you actually look at this formula, your words leading to thoughts, thoughts leading to feelings, your inner world. So that those three are your inner world. And what they lead to is your external world, your outer world, which is your actions and results. So, Harv Eker, T. Harv Eker, if you've heard about him. So he's like a world famous coach. He's written this book, Secrets of Millionaire Mind. He also talks about how in fact, all success people, they talk about how our inner world creates our outer world, and they focus more on that. So that's about the first concept on. Yes, Ashutosh, yes, it's T. Harv Eker. So you can look up more about him. He has such beautiful things that we can learn about him. So let me move on to the second part. So there are three things that we discussed that we will be sharing. The second technique is, the first technique is more internal, about more being mindful of the words, being mindful of the thoughts that you are using in your day-to-day life. The second technique is about journaling. So how many of you here have the habit of journaling? I do. I do. I was not used to doing it earlier. A lot of people write diary, so it's also on the same lines. So I started this practice almost about a year and a half, 2 years back, and it's been working so well with me. So this technique of journaling, I will share two things that you can start doing. If you're someone who's doing the journaling, it's fantastic. If you are someone who wants to start journaling, then you can make use of two different rituals. So you make it as a ritual. One is in the morning and one is in the night. And it will take you just about 10 to 15 minutes to do this. And this is the first one is to do the intention. Intention is something that I will ask you to start doing in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning, we have different mind levels, so right now we are in beta state of mind. There are other levels like alpha, theta, delta. So I'll not go much deeper into it. But alpha state of mind is when our subconscious mind, so we have conscious and subconscious mind, right? So alpha state of mind is when our subconscious mind is very receptive to new thoughts, to new things that we want to feed, new beliefs. So when we wake up in the morning, we are just, coming out of our sleep, which is like, coming out of our delta, theta. We are entering into a state of mind, which is called the theta state of mind, when we are still like half asleep, not fully awake. At that point, state of mind, if when we are just waking up, right? So in the first 15-20 minutes, if we take our journal and write our intention, intention for the day. How do I want my day to look like? So that is the intention of the day. So when you set that, you are tuning your mind to expect the same kind of result. And that intention can be same or it can be different depending on how you want the day to be. So for example, what I do generally, and I have been doing it for a really long time, so it comes automatically to me. The first thing is I say to myself when I wake up that today is going to be a beautiful day. Today is going to be a day of miracles. Now, not every day is beautiful, not every day is filled with miracles, but it's tuning your subconscious mind to expect that, it is a beautiful day, which will help you to break that pattern, break a pattern of being in the negative state to a positive state much faster than what it was earlier. So that's how the intention helps in doing that. And the same technique you can use for anywhere. If you have a meeting, for example, if you have an important presentation on a particular day, your intention for that particular presentation meeting as well, that this meeting is going to be amazing. So you are giving a command to your subconscious mind. And remember, reticular activating system. So that system, RAS system, gets activated that, so today the meeting is going to be amazing. And it prepares us in a way that we actually end up making the meeting amazing. So you can use the intention at any point of time. But journaling, please do use it as a part of your journal. Just start in the morning, particularly. The second part to the journal is, so this is again one of my favorites, I do this every day, is this one, gratitude. So I would suggest, so you can do this in the morning also, but then if you do it in the night before you going to sleep, you are it's like, preparing yourself for the next day as well. You're going to bed by feeling good. You're feeling good and you're going to bed. And what happens in your brain when you do a gratitude? Our brain starts releasing hormones which make us feel good. It releases hormones like serotonin and all, which are like neurotransmitters, which help us to shift from a low mind state to a high mind state, to a positive mind state. And that's what gratitude does. And time and again, you may have heard about do gratitude, count your blessings, do appreciation. So whatever people may say on, different, especially times like these, doing gratitude really helps you to break out of that pattern that you may find yourself in. So these are the two things, intention and doing gratitude, which you can make a part of your daily journal. And believe me, it will not take more than 10 minutes. And Do it 10 days, for 10 days, just about 10 days, and you will start seeing a difference in your mental states. You'll start seeing a difference in yourself when you do this technique.
So Kiran, just to so the challenge what comes here is that, well, as you rightly said, that we do this first thing in the morning when we get up, right? The idea is to till the time we get used to it, to get into the practice, into the habit of doing this. What is it that you follow to start with? So for example, if I have known of this technique today, and if I would like to do it from tomorrow onwards when I get up in the morning, what is the first thing that I should be able to do to make sure that at least for the next 10 days, I'm able to do this without fail?
So what you could do is, so this is what I did. Like I said, I was not used to doing journaling. I never used to write that. When I would wake up, I would just sit in my bed. I would keep my eyes closed, and I started saying that intention to myself first. So that's the first thing. So I didn't even start writing it, but then I used to say the same statement over and over again every day. So it was like one simple statement. I didn't even have to put a lot of thinking into what that statement is. I continued with one statement, which made it very easier for me to say that. And that's the first thing I did when I opened my eyes. And slowly, when I started getting used to the habit of journaling, I did both. So when I wake up, this is what I ask my folks also to do it. And that, when you wake up, do the intention in your bed, that statement. And when you write your journal, then you again write that intention, because you're doing it in the morning. You're again reinforcing that intention in your mind. It's like a command for your mind that this is my goal for today. So it could be, my intention is that I feel more relaxed, more calm, or my intention is I rocket that interview, or I make a superb presentation, or whatever that could be. So we start small with simple things, and then we can develop that into a writing habit. So that will work.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Great. So any questions from anyone, others? To make use of the alpha state that we have, we naturally have that brain state in us. So let's make use of that alpha state of mind to put in, it's like, plant in those thoughts, plant in those beliefs that we want to adopt in ourselves. So that is your technique number 2 for manifestation or getting that results. So shall I move on to the third one now?
Yes, please, Kiran.
So the third technique, thank you, Avinash. The third technique which I wanted to share with you is called as 68 seconds of pure thought. 68 seconds of pure thought is a concept which was shared by two people, Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks. Esther and Jerry Hicks, both of them. Now, they also did this experiment on a lot of people to understand how their thoughts turn into a reality, how their thoughts are manifesting. And what they figured out by observing and doing this on thousands of people was, whenever people thought about a thought, pure thought is what? One single thought. So it's like one single thought, no other thoughts. So if your thought is that, say, I have strong immunity. So that is like a pure thought. You're focusing on that, I have strong immunity. That becomes your single most pure thought. And then you focus on such a thought for a period of 17 seconds. So like I was sharing, every thought has an energy. It has a vibration, right? So when we think about that, it has a vibration, generates it in our brain. So when you think of a pure thought for just about 17 seconds, it creates an energy expansion in our brain, because when you're focusing on that thought, and every 17 seconds that you add on to it. So it's like 17 seconds, then 34 seconds, then it's like 51, and then coming to 68 seconds. 68 seconds is the minimum that you would need to, kind of create a major result in your life. And every day, all that you need to give yourself is just 68 seconds on that pure thought, whichever you want to get in your life, whichever you want to manifest or whichever you want to have a result on. So that is 68 seconds of pure thought. Now, you can look at it like saying an affirmation also. So thinking about that affirmation. So affirmations are auto suggestions if you look at it, right? So I have a strong immunity, I'm very confident. These are all auto suggestions that we are giving. And 68 seconds also works like that as well. So, just focus on that thought, on just that thought and nothing else for 68 seconds. And you create a major energy expansion in your brain. And I would also like to share with you how that explosion of energy happens. I have a small image over here. So can everyone see this image?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is a image of, this is not the exact image, this is only for representation. So this image of a neural pattern or a neural network in our brain. So these are different neurons, different colors that I'm showing. These are different neurons in our brain. And this is a junction, the black one that you can see here. It is like a junction where all the neurons are coming and getting attached to it to create a neural network in the brain. Now, how this neural network is formed? When you think of thought, pure thought, the 68 seconds, right? So we are still on 68 seconds. When you think of a pure thought, a neuron there is some neuron which is associated with that thought. There is a memory or there is an experience in the brain which is associated with that thought. When you keep focusing on that thought, it has a certain vibration, right? So everything has a certain vibration and they have a certain frequency. That neuron starts attracting another neuron with a similar vibration. So say you're thinking about, I have a strong immunity, you will start attracting another memory, which could be around, say, I'm so healthy. Then you will start attracting another neuron with another memory, which will be around, say, I'm so fit, I'm so healthy, I'm mentally strong, I'm emotionally healthy. So all these related thoughts, they start connecting and getting attracted, and then they create a strong bond. And this strong bond, so it's like, all the neurons start firing together, and it's said, when neurons fire together, so it's like a neurophysics, right? Neuroscience. All the neurons that fire together, they get wired together. And that's what happens when we do a 68 seconds of pure thought. It's like we are attracting, by focusing on that pure thought, we are attracting more and more of similar thoughts, of vibrating at a similar vibration, having a similar frequency for the brain. So if I have to put it in a scientific way, similar frequency. And that's how impactful a 68 seconds is, because it keeps on multiplying. That thought keeps on multiplying, and words lead to thoughts, lead to feelings, actions, results. Again, the same pattern happens in our life. Yes, interesting, right? Again,
it is in fact very interesting, because and these are very practical things. I mean, this is something that we could do, start doing it immediately. So again, really thought-provoking. Thank you so much again, Kiran, for these techniques. These are wonderful things that we could start using and make a wonderful impact in our lives. And if we share this with others' lives as well, isn't it?
yeah, yes, absolutely, definitely. And all you have to do is, like, when you're doing a 68 seconds, you just close your eyes and you just say that to yourself. You can say it out loud, or if you want, you can also record a statement and just play it on your phone and listen to that again, so that there is no distraction. When you say it out, there will be no distraction. If you don't say it out, if you're keeping that thought in your mind will get a lot of other thoughts. So when you say it, it won't get a lot of other thoughts. You'll focus only on that one single pure thought.
So let's. So is this? So these were the three techniques that you had mentioned, and these are really very wonderful techniques. Is there something more, or should we open the forum for discussion, Kiran?
We can open the forum for discussion, or if you want, we could also do a 68 seconds
That's an excellent.
of pure thought.
Yes,
technique. We can implement that right now.
Inputs from the participants. What would you like to do? Please open up your mics. Would you like to do this exercise, or the forum would be open for discussion.
Let's do this exercise.
Experience the
Avinash.
exercise. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Kiran, can you
Okay.
take us through this wonderful exercise,
Yes.
please?
Sure. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be a little longer than 68 seconds, just a little longer than 68 seconds, because we'll be closing our eyes and doing it. And first, we need to get into a relaxed state of mind so that we reach from a beta state, we kind of fall a little down, closer towards alpha, and then we'll focus on a thought. We can take up immunity related statement, because I think right now that is what is very much important. So let's focus on saying that I have a strong immunity. Would that be okay? Or if you have suggestions, please give me a suggestion. So we can say I have a strong immunity, or anything else, any other statement.
It should be a positive thought, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, positive thought.
Yeah. Then
It could be a
immunity is the-
negative thought also. Then will the energy expansion will be more on the negative thought. So it works both ways.
Then I think immunity is the best thing to do in these days.
In these days.
That's-
Okay,
that's my
perfect.
opinion.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right. So may I might have a music also. Okay. Just give me one moment. I'll check out a music also, so that it's very nice that way.
It enhances the
moment.
process.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to share the music. Just give me a hands up if you are able to hear the music. Yeah, okay, great. So please close your eyes. Sit upright, sit comfortably in your chair. Eyes closed, and take a deep breath. Slowly breathe out. We're going to do a couple of deep breaths more. And as you breathe in and breathe out, bring your focus onto your breathing. The air that is filling your lungs, become aware of that. Become aware of your body relaxing. More relaxed. Relaxing. Relaxed. Even more relaxed. Now, we're going to bring our focus onto a pure thought. The pure thought is, I have strong immunity. As I say these words, allow these words to enter your subconscious. I have strong immunity. 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 As you keep hearing these words, allow yourself to imagine the immunity in your body. I have strong immunity. 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 Feel the immunity building up in your body and becoming stronger and stronger. Now bring your focus back to your breathing. Take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes.
Just take a few seconds to just come back, because it was really an amazing feeling to, and it felt like, why are you getting us back? It's so nice to be there in that zone. So really a wonderful.
It's a relaxing music and a good modulated voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
To follow it through, it was good.
Wonderful.
Though we got a little bit disturbed because of somebody came in the room and just had got that attention. But I think this music and the voice modulation technique that you probably use, when you're really alone and keep like we're keeping everything isolated, social distancing. I think it's good to do social distancing with yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it was a good exercise.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you so much. Yes, over to you, Avinash.
Excellent. So again, we are aware of the time, and thank you so much, Kiran. I couldn't thank you much because the experience itself was such wonderful. Any of the participants would like to have any questions regarding the three techniques that we have shared today, or if there is anything more that you would like to discuss?
Avinash, you will share the details of it, right? Post meeting.
Yes, we will share the
details. So that the way Kiran has told, probably we can practice it more, and then if there are queries, I can come back to you.
Absolutely. So Kiran, just before we leave for the session, if you would like to just sum up the overall three techniques and just give us the final kind of summary of the entire session, it would be a great thing, because it's also being recorded. So for people who will be listening to it later, it's an excellent sum up.
Sure. So, yeah.
Yes. Somebody.
Avinash?
Yes. Bol. Yes, Sridhar.
I want to ask one question.
Yes, please.
I was tried this technique earlier, auto suggestions. But what about the negative things? जब भी हम लोग करने जाते हैं ये, तो फिर यार ऐसा नहीं होगा, सेकंड माइंड आ जाता है, कि ये नहीं होगा, तो उसको फिर कैसे ये करने का, पुश आउट करने का नेगेटिव थॉट्स को?
Excellent. So Kiran, the question, I hope you got that. While when we go into this, we come up across negative thoughts. So how do we
right. Yeah. So this is Sridhar, जब आप auto suggestions कर रहे हैं, जब affirmations करते हैं, right? ये तब आप पूछ रहे हैं, तब का आप पूछ रहे हैं कि I'm saying something, but then my mind is not allowing me to believe it, and it's very true. It will happen with some of those affirmations. Now there is one trick to do it. Now what happens is when you say you're not healthy and you're doing an affirmation that I'm so healthy, and पीछे से your conscious mind would say क्या बकवास कर रहे हो, you're not healthy, You look at yourself, पेट निकला है या फिर all of that. So what happens is the conscious mind is not accepting it, because conscious mind is logical and analytical in nature, and for it, it's like a gatekeeper. It just stands at the gate, and subconscious mind is deep within, and conscious mind, if it doesn't agree with that, it will not allow that thought or that new belief to enter. So subconscious mind tak to wo pahunch hi nahi pa raha hai. So in those cases, what you can do is you can convert that auto suggestion, that statement, and make it a why statement. So say, instead of saying I am so healthy and fit, you say to yourself, why am I so healthy and fit? And you give yourself 3 reasons to that. Why am I so healthy and fit? Then you don't focus on the fact that you have, like, I may be weighing so much, I may be heavier, पेट निकला है and all that, but you give reasons. Why am I fit and healthy? Okay, so I'm fit and healthy because I'm eating on time, all 3 meals on time. I'm fit and healthy because I'm having a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, for example. I'm fit and healthy. Why? Another reason could be because I'm drinking more than 3 liters of water every day. So you start giving reasons. Your conscious mind, when you say, why, put your auto suggestion in the form of why, your conscious mind automatically gets triggered to give answer to that. Because why hai to, yeah, I have to give it an answer. And that answer is actually challenging your limiting belief. That answer provides you, it opens up, then the conscious mind will like, okay, so now let me open that door and allow that new belief to go in. So that's exactly how it happens in the brain. Have I been able to answer your question?
लेकिन जब मैं हेल्दी नहीं हूँ, मतलब फैट हूँ अगर, तो तब मैं फिर हेल्दी सवाल कैसे पूछ सकता हूँ? मतलब मैं क्यों फिट हूँ? मतलब ये पॉजिटिव थॉट्स शिफ्ट करने का आई थिंक तरीका है शायद.
Yeah, so you find reasons. This process is called reasoning. So it's like challenging that belief. Why am I healthy and fit? Now, healthy is not just about your weight. Healthy is also about your sleep. Healthy is also about your mental state, your emotional state. So give yourself 3 reasons that where am I healthy? So am I able to walk for 15, 20 minutes without panting, without getting tired? Yes, I am. So I am healthy. So maybe earlier, so I'll give you one example of mine. So I have this condition called as plantar fasciitis. Sometimes I get a lot of heel pain. There's an inflammation in that. So I've been able to change that. So earlier, if I just walk for 10 minutes, it used to be so painful. I would just sit down. I couldn't walk at all. And slowly I started, questioning myself around these lines. And then that period has now increased. So now I can stand for a long time. I can walk. One time I went with before the lockdown, some time back, when my sister came, we went for shopping, and we were like, walking throughout the shopping mall for almost 1.5 years, not half year, 1.5 hours. And that was like a breaking point for me, that like, wow, it broke the pattern, that yeah, I'm now able to walk so much and I don't get that pain much. So it's about giving a reason, finding what are those reasons. 3 reasons, ज़्यादा भी आप 3 लिख करोगे, आपके चौथे 5वें रीजंस भी आने चालू हो जाएंगे, and I'll guarantee you will get that reason.
Okay. Got it.
So I hope I have been able to answer your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
One question, if you have time, one question. So for the manifestation technique, we said, one thing that you got to say for yourself and, practice it. Is it advisable to do only one at a time, or you could do 2, 3? Is there a limit to it, or it's like a restriction saying it's just have to be one at a time?
So those are different techniques, Ashutosh. You can, you can use one statement and you can say that just say 68 seconds of pure thought is about one thought. Whatever is the major one that you want to focus on, use that in the form of 68 seconds of pure thought. There could be other auto suggestions also, wherein, you write all of that on a sheet of paper, and every day you just read that. It's like a manifesto to you. So every day, this is my life's manifesto to me, and I'm reminding myself of that. That is also another way of doing it. So there is no restriction कि आपको ऐसा ही करना है, ऐसा नहीं करना है. You can do it either ways.
Thank you.
Well, fair enough, and I think we are 5 minutes already past the given time. So Again, thank you so much, Kiran. It was amazing having you with us today. And we look forward to having such sessions in the future as well. And we wish you all the best for achieving your objective. And I'm sure you're using all these techniques in your life to make sure that you reach that objective of reaching 100,000 plus women and to empower them. So all our wishes with you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
all
you
the
so much.
participants.
Thank you so much, Avinash. Once again, thank you so much for calling me here. And I
Thank you.
really
No, I just said
enjoyed
thank
my time with all of you. And if any of you wants to connect with me, I'm there on Facebook, I'm there on LinkedIn, I'm there on Instagram. Please feel free. Just when you send a invite or a message, just mention that, yeah, Avinash ke session mein, so that I'll also can understand and relate to you.
We'll share the links to you, and we'll also tag you on the Facebook so that all the others can connect with you.
Sure,
Okay,
definitely.
thank you so much, Kiran. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. And we wish to
Thank
see
you
you
so
again.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.